Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. The commentary. This poem is written in the form of a sonnet. It consists of 14 lines dealing with one personal idea or emotion. The poet admires the beauty of his beloved and describes it as ideal, perfect, and immortal. He was sure that his beloved beauty and fame will be preserved by his great immortal art. There are two kinds of sonnets. The first, the Italian sonnet, which is divided into two stanzas, the octet, 8 lines introducing the idea or the conflict, then followed by the sestet, it's 6 lines offering the resolution of the conflict. Shakespeare made a change in the form of the sonnet and was named after him the Shakespearean sonnet. He divided the 14 lines into 3 quatrains. The quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines each, and a heroic couplet, 2 rhyming lines summing up the idea. In the poem, in the first line, the poet states his main theme or main idea. Then in the second lines, he gives us an answer. In the rest of the first and second stanza, the poet justified his answer by giving reasons. In the third stanza, he made a declaration which is summed in the heroic couplet. Quatrain 1. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, thou art more lovely and more temperate? Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. The vocabulary. Thee means you, thou art, you are, temperate, moderate, rough, wild, lease means rent or hire something. The paraphrase. Shakespeare begins his sonnet asking whether he should compare his beloved to a summer's day. The answer comes immediately, that his beloved is more beautiful and more delightful than a summer's day. Then the poet begins to point out the imperfection of summer. He says that even in May, it is sometimes windy and the strong winds shake the small fragile buds. Moreover, summer does not last for long. It's far too short and gives way to other seasons. The figures of speech. First, metaphor. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. Here summer is compared to something leased or hired for a short time. The writing technique. Repetition. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Here the word more is repeated twice. Contrast. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, thou art more lovely and more temperate. Here the image of a short summer is contrasted with the delightful image of his beloved. And the line, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Here the image of a short summer is contrasted with the everlasting memory of his beloved. Quatrain 2. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's course untrimmed. The vocabulary. Eye of heaven means the sun. Dimmed means made not bright or prevented. Complexion, the natural color of the skin. Declines means decays or goes away. Untrimmed, deprived of beauty. The paraphrase. The poet continues to discuss the flaws of summer or the imperfections in summer. which is described as a season of extremes and disappointment. A summer's day is ruined when the sun shines too brightly and makes the weather too hot, or when the sun is dimmed by clouds. A summer's day is finally darkened by night, and darkness replaces sunshine. Here the poet states that every beautiful creature will eventually lose its beauty, either through some accident or because it's natural for all living things to grow old and die. The figures of speech. Metaphor. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines. The sun is likened to the eye of heaven, or the sun is described as an eye. And personification. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shining. The same line. Here the heaven is personified as a human being who can see and has an eye, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. The sun is personified as a human being with a face and complexion. The writing techniques. Here we have alliteration, and every fair from fair sometimes declines. The consonant F is repeated in fair, from, and fair. Repetition. The word fair is repeated twice.